What up, chat? How we doing? I'm a little bit nervous. You know why? Because I'm trying something new. And because of that, I need a beer. I need a cold beer. We're having a little sote from Calusa, this nice little brewery. I was actually hanging out in the brewery yesterday, having a nice fish sandwich because they have a really good cook in there, or chef that makes some real delicious seafood. So I had a nice fish sandwich, one of the more expensive ones I've ever had. But yeah, Calusa Brewery, if you're ever in Florida, they make some of the best beer in Florida. So we're gonna have the sote. It has some, I think, Mosaic, Centennial hops, and Citra. And it's good. What is the hops on this? Oh, no. It's got, it's got Citrus, Mosaic, Centennial, and Cascade. I knew I missed one of the hops. But yeah, Centennial hops are one of my favorite hops, by the way, chat. So I love it. So, and I had to use proper glassware for attorney. Cheers. What's up, Turney? What's up, Nick? What's up, Elspeth? Oh, I can see, Nick, I can definitely see you going for a cup or two of your favorite Sprite. Styrofoam cup, double cup. Elspeth, that's good that you can't drink. Keep it like that. We are, lemonades for everyone. Anyway, proper glassware. Yeah, pint glass. I just figured I use a 420 glass for the turnster. Anyway, today, chat, we are gonna edit. So let's look at the software we're gonna use. We are gonna use. This looks overwhelming. So this, my friends, is DaVinci Resolve. So I'm guessing this is my media pool. This is where clips, where we're gonna populate with clips. We got the editing timeline here. We got a large time, like a speed timeline here, and then there's got timeline for levels here. I'm guessing this is my preview window. Okay, I haven't done video editing since 2005. Was the last time I did something like this, so it's gonna be interesting. Anyway, I need to open up the folder. So let's find our so for anybody working with this today, the class we are gonna do is gonna be the DaVinci Resolve. We're gonna work with DaVinci Resolve. They make a free software. It's kind of like the equivalent of Adobe Illustrator, but we're gonna do the DaVinci Resolve introduction to editing. So, where is it? So we're gonna take this. So I have a link on the page where you can download the software. You can download the software at up here. Or here. You can download the software here. And then you can download the tutorial video here and the project file here. So we're gonna work our way through most of these classes actually, or rather the classes that are useful for us. So we're gonna do this one. We might do multicam editing, and we're definitely gonna do visual effects one. I don't know if we're gonna do color grading. I need to get better with that, but I probably need a better monitor for that. But this is what we're gonna do. So if you guys have this project file and the video, that is what I'm gonna be working with. So let's pull it up. Desktop. Oh. Here, so where is that video file? Video file. Where is that file? File. Mama. See here. Let me just boom, chicka, boom, chicka, boom, chicka, boom. Did I not export that? Oh, there we go. Perfect. We got him. Okay. Now we gotta pull up the video. Okay, let's go, chat. So let's learn. Welcome to class. My name is Sonny. I'm not your professor. I'm just a fellow classmate. And today, we're gonna learn some shit. Weird looking game. Welcome, Faithless. Yeah, today we're gonna play the game of life and to play the game of YouTube. How to make money. By the way, this is some really nice gear they got over here. I want that keyboard. That's a sick keyboard. Anyway, let's look at this.
Hi, I'm Chris. I'm an editor and a DaVinci Resolve master
Hi, I'm Sonny.
trainer. Today, I'm going to look at some of the editing functionality that you can access in DaVinci Resolve.
Sick.
We've been sent some footage to put together a short trailer for a documentary film by the filmmaker Brian Terwilliger. And so to do that, we're going to start by creating a new project. So here I am in the project manager. I'll just click on the new project button to create
Tony. That rack looked sick. Chris needs keto. Be nice, Turney. No fat shaming in chat. Not everybody can look like a freaking golden god like you, Turney. Even if I was old enough, I might damage my throat. I hadn't thought of that until just now. Yeah, true. Don't drink, anybody. Honestly, I'm all for that. So anyway, we're gonna...
And give this project a name. Age of Airplanes.
Age of Airplanes. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do with this ours. We're gonna do new product. Age of Airplanes. We're gonna do exactly like my boy Chris. I kind of want to name it Age of Empires. Okay, Age of Airplanes. Chris does look like a guy that enjoys a good airplane.
Trailer.
Well, ours is just called Air.
Choose to create.
Okay, we created it too.
And DaVinci Resolve opens directly in the cut page. Now the best place for me to do importing and organization is actually in the media page. So down at the bottom of the interface here, just click on the media page.
I need this to like not be obnoxious. Okay, so we gotta go to the media. How do I get this smaller? Let me just weird. Oh, we can have it as a mini. I mean that works, I guess. So have it as a mini player here. Do not like. So anyway, we gotta go to the media pool now. That is gonna be here. Media. Okay, that looks a lot different. Sorry if I'm confused. This is as alien to me as it is for you guys. Oh. Does alcohol damage your throat further if it's already raw? Recover from surgery, generally messed up. It can damage your esophagus, but you have to drink a lot of it to do that. But it is generally recommended to not drink after surgery, so don't do that. I have corn. What's up, human man? Yeah, smoking would be the thing to watch out for. The heat and tar. Exactly. Yeah, don't smoke if you have a sore throat. So, okay. Perfect. So we are in the media pool. Okay, let's continue this.
Now on the top left of the media page, it gives me access to all of my system storage locations. So I'm just going to right click here in the side and choose Add New Location. I'm going to navigate to the location where my footage is. In this case, it's actually in my Documents folder. Go to the Editing folder and then choose Open. And that creates a new storage location for me to access here.
I wonder if I can just drag and drop though.
Now the video and the audio clips that...
Let's see if we can drag and drop it. I kind of want to try to see if I can do that. So let's go editing, video clips. So can I drag it here? Can I not? Home, add new location, fine. We're gonna do oh. We're gonna go to intro to editing, video clips. Okay. And we got video clips here. DaVinci is king, hell yeah. DaVinci is nice. I choose it just because it's a free one. I want to use Adobe for Premiere, but then I was just like, Premiere is gonna be, it's gonna cost money. I want to make sure that
been sent to me are actually in separate folders. And to a certain extent, I want to preserve that folder structure. So when I import the footage into Resolve, I actually want to import and also to create a series of bins.
Okay.
Simply select these two folders in the media storage location, right click and then choose the...
Oh, I did that wrong. Okay, so we're gonna do that differently now. We're gonna do... where's remove? A new location. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use desktop again, and we're gonna go editing. Okay. No, see here. Good question. Yeah, if you spend money, you might as well get DaVinci Studio. True. I feel like DaVinci and Blackmagic is more focused on selling their gear rather than selling. See, I need to selling software. So what I need to just. How do I delete this? Can I just delete? No. You know what? We're gonna just do this. Add new location. And we're gonna do audio clips separate here. So we have the audios here and then this here. Perfect. That worked. Okay.
Third option, which in this case is add folder and subfolders into Media Pool, creating bins.
So
Now at this point, DaVinci Resolve is asking me to change the project frame rate. This is so that the project frame rate will match the frame rate of the footage that I'm bringing in. So in this case, I need to accept the change.
Okay. So we're gonna make them into bins now. So what we're gonna do is subfolder to add folder and subfolder into media pool, create bins. Yes, please change. Also, I want you to add folder and subfolder into media pool, create bins. Thank you. So now we have our folders. Hey, it's so much easier. I accept change. I'm embracing the change. I haven't seen many videos of people saying Premiere is better than DaVinci. I mean, my lady at home, she's a Premiere girl. Some would say she's Premiere out of my league, if you know what I mean. That was a British footy joke. Anyway, where were we? Oh yeah, we need to watch the Chris over here.
So now the footage has been
My boy Keto for Chris.
imported into the media pool. It's ready for me to start working on and organising.
Okay, let's organise.
The first thing I'm going to do is just access the audio clips bin. And you can see that although I've got a folder of sound effects that actually contains a series of sound effects that I'm going to use within the trailer, the other clips aren't organised into bins. So let's create a couple of other bins so that we know where this footage is. So first of all, with the audio clips bin selected, I'm going to come to the File menu and choose the option here, New Bin. There are also a series of shortcuts that you can employ here as well, such as Shift and Command N, because I'm on a Mac. That then creates the new bin, and I'm just going to call this Music. And then take the clip Music for Trailer and just drag and drop that into the Music folder. So organising clips into bins is very similar to organising files in folders.
Yeah, I'm not going to do
on
that.
your operating system. I've also got two voiceover clips here. I'm just going to select both of those, and this time right-click and choose Create Bin with selected clips. I'm going to call this VO.
Okay, we might as well do this too. So, audio clip. New bin, create bin with selected clips. We're gonna rename this. Fuck. I deleted that. Can I? There we go. Bin. We deleted the bin by accident. Okay, and we're gonna rename bin VO. I could go for some VO right now. Seagrams. Okay. And then we had the audio clips, and then we had, and then create new bin, music, and we're gonna have the music for trailer in here. Bam. So sound effects, VO. Okay, we're doing great.
So that's got all of my audio clips organised into separate bins.
Okay, so you organized them.
I now need to do the same with the video clips. But in this case, rather than just using simple bins, I'm going to use a series of smart bins. So selecting the video clips folder, you can see I've got a series of thumbnails for each of the clips. If I actually just take my mouse and run the mouse across the clips, you can see that each of the video clips is previewed for me. If I get to a clip that actually has audio, you can also hear that I've also got audio scrubbing as well. I'm just going to turn that off for the moment, just by pressing Shift S on my computer.
So Shift S.
Now we're not hearing the audio scrub. Obviously, these three clips that I have here are interview clips. So I'm actually going to tag them with a keyword called interview. I'm going to shift click to select all of those three clips.
Okay.
And then in the metadata panel, down in the bottom right-hand corner of the interface, I'm just going to display the keyword metadata field that I need. Clicking in the sort menu for the metadata panel, I'm just going to choose the option shot and scene. And this will actually show the metadata for the shot.
Okay, so interview. We want shot and scene. Okay. Oh, we can put some keywords and shit like that. Sorry if this is boring. I'm learning right now.
The scene information.
Hopefully you
for
guys
these
are too.
clips. You can see scrolling down through this view here that we actually have a field for keywords. So I'm going to enter the keyword interview. Just type in interview.
Okay, keyword. Interview. Okay, that's a kind of, I like all the features. There's so many features that I'm probably never gonna use, but it's good that I'm learning about.
Or beginning to type interview in the metadata field means that it'll actually bring up a list of options for different keywords. But you can always put in your own keywords in there. Let's choose the option for interview and choose save.
Save.
So that's how easy it is in order to be able to add keywords to any clip within your project.
Whoa,
now that we've
people
added
leaving?
the keywords to the clip, it's actually really easy because DaVinci Resolve will automatically display any keyworded clips in their own smart bin. Down in the bottom left-hand corner of your bin list, simply select the keywords option and then toggle it open using the disclosure arrow. And you'll see in there is a smart bin for interview.
So when we have interview here now. That's not neat. For a massive project, that would be nice.
So my 3 interview clips are now being displayed within that smart bin. Just to show you how easy it is to keep adding keywords, I'm just going to select the video clips bin and select the clip called credits. In the keywords, I'm going to add the keyword credits. And now that has actually tagged that clip with that keyword. You'll see that I have a credits smart bin available to me.
Okay.
So now you can carry on adding whatever keywords you want to any of the clips within your project and organize them. However, there's much more to the metadata than this. If we select the video clips bin, for example, and then select this first clip here for the aerial shot for this Kenya clip. If I come up here and select the inspector in the top right-hand corner.
Inspector. I'm gonna make this a little bit larger. I'm gonna move it over here. Inspector, okay.
And then choose the File tab in the
File tab.
Inspector. You can see that we've actually got a series of metadata fields that we can easily access.
Okay, timecode, date created.
These are the same metadata fields that you'll be able to see in the actual metadata panel itself. It just means that they're easier to access here inside the inspector.
Hurry up!
Now, I can actually populate this with a series of metadata
you guys
just
having
by
a play
simply
date?
clicking in these fields and start to type in the information. However, if you've got somebody on the production team that might be logging these shots, it's actually easier to import the metadata rather than to add every single piece of metadata individually. So let's go to the File menu and we'll choose Import Metadata.
File menu, import metadata. Okay.
Data to Media Pool.
Media pool, okay, file, import metadata to media pool.
Navigate to where your editing footage is on your system and choose to select the AOA login.csv file.
AOL login? What, are we going on the internet? Is that what we're doing? Okay, I have found the AOA login. Okay, okay, and then what?
The CSV file is a comma-separated values file. It's very simple to create in any spreadsheet application. I'm going to choose to open that. And you'll see that when I'm importing this login information, you can see that it is also asking me for a series of things that it's trying to match to. Now, in this information, we don't actually have timecode information for these clips. So in this case, I'm just going to uncheck match using clip start and end timecode.
Okay, I did that.
I'm going to uncheck that option and then choose OK. And you'll see that the information has actually been imported and now 27 media pool clips have been updated.
Yep, they're updated.
If I select any of these clips again, you'll now see in the File tab in the inspector, I've now got additional information in terms of the scene number, also a shot number.
That's actually really nice.
Sometimes whether this is a good shot or a good take or not. Just scrolling down to the bottom of the file inspector,
Kenya.
You can also see a comments field has also been added. So having added all of that metadata to these clips, how can I actually use it? Well, I can actually use it in order to be able to do very quick search.
I can see faithless celebrity Kurt Russell.
Which is across the project.
No, that's
if I select
Shadow.
the master bin, for example, and let's say I wanted to do a search across this information for any shots that were shot at San Francisco Airport, for example, I can actually click on the search option here. Under this little drop-down arrow at the side, I can also choose whether or not I want to search the selected bin or all bins. So in this case, I actually want to search the whole project. So I'm going to select all bins.
Where did you do that? Where did you do that, Tom? You did it on the filter. Oh, okay, Phil. Wait a second.
Search option here. Under this little drop-down arrow at the side, I can also choose whether or not I want to search the selected bin or all bins. So in this case, I actually want to search the whole project. So I'm going to select all bins. And now I need to choose which fields I'm actually trying to match. So you can see here the filter by is actually based on the file name of the clip, which is absolutely fine if you know the file name that you're searching for. In this case, though, I actually want to match to the scene information.
Okay.
So if I just tap S on my keyboard and keep tapping S, it will cycle through all the metadata fields until I get to the scene. Selecting that, I can now type in SFO. And you can see that all of the clips in the project that have actually got that scene information, SFO, will now be revealed. Let's say I want to find a clip that actually has the comment for Kenya. From the filter by,
SFO,
I can choose the comments field just by tapping C
comments,
many times until
and then
comments
we're going to go to
appears.
Kenya.
And now highlight the text for the search and again type in
Africa.
That's the power of metadata in order to be able to search
Tom Segura,
right
I can see Eternity being Tom
to find
Segura.
the clips that you're looking for.
I would say Tony's a little bit more in touch with the people than Tom Segura, though. Favors, I'm definitely like a Brad Pitt or George Clooney type. Hell yeah. Me personally, I'm like a Steve Buscemi or what's his name? Willem Dafoe. That's my spirit animal.
Can go one step further. If you clear the search field and close down the search field by clicking the search button, now go to your DaVinci Resolve Preferences menu.
Preferences.
Choose User.
Okay. Choose User. Okay.
Editing.
Editing.
You can see that there's a category of preferences for automatic smart bins.
Ooh.
By default, the automatic smart bins for keywords is already on. However, you can also see that we can create automatic smart bins for anything with shot or scene metadata. Click the automatic smart bins for the scene metadata and click Save. And now, in your list of smart bins, you've now got a new scene category. Use the disclosure arrow to open that up, and you can now see that the information for each scene is displayed as its own smart bin. Just simply select the smart bin in order to be able to access the contents.
Very cool.
But you're not simply limited to the default
I can't
automatic
see.
smart bins
Yeah,
that
you
you can have within DaVinci Resolve. You
Stop
can
it.
actually create your own custom smart bin. In this case, I'm going to go back to the File menu and choose the option New Smart Bin.
New smart bin.
This field then opens up and it's asking me for a variety of rules that I can actually input in order to be able to narrow down the footage that I actually want to locate.
Okay.
Let's rename this smart bin B-roll.
B-roll.
So now I need to choose my first rule. So in this case, I'm going to say media pool properties, but I don't want to match automation. On the file name. I actually want to match on the keyword information to begin with. So keywords do not contain interview.
Well, yo, can you calm down? Keyword. Oh, wait, contains. Does not contain. Keyword is. Where's keyword? It's not key code. Oh, there we go. Keywords. Does not contain the view. Okay.
So now my smart bin search is automatically filtering out any clip that has the interview keyword.
That's so nifty. I like that.
I'm going to add another rule for this.
Oh, we're getting more rules.
Media pool properties for keywords does not contain credits. This was the other keyword that I actually added to my title that I actually don't want to see in the B-roll bin. You can also choose to add a subset of rules to your smart bins as well.
This is really, honestly, this is really useful for, like, I'm definitely, when I'm making video edits, I'm definitely gonna use the B-roll keyword a lot on, like, B-roll footage that I might want to use for different projects. Let's say I'm doing video game edits or something, and I have a bunch of, like swooping shots of, like, Dark Souls environments or Elden Ring environments. I might want to use that for a bunch of things. Like, this is really useful. What we're learning right now is super boring. It's basically teaching you mise for this. And when you guys hear me talking mise en place a lot, which is everything in its right place, and cook when you're a cook or a bartender, just means do the preparation, and when you do the work, it's easy to do the work. So this is teaching me, like, the prep work, and then, like, because when I'm streaming, I have a system how to make my thumbnail and everything very fast. This is the stuff that would give me a system for that. Yeah, Tony knows his mise. There's an E in there. Come on, Tony. You speak French. Everything in its place, yeah. My pronunciation of that. I just say mise. Can you mise it up? Ugh.
Down the Option or the Alt key on your system when I click on this plus button actually turns it into an options menu. And now I actually have a subset of rules that I just want to match any two.
Okay, so now we're gonna hold Alt, press this, and now we have all of the following rules. So this is a subset rule to the rule.
And in this case, I actually want to specify clip types. So I'm going to choose Media Pool Properties, change the second drop down to Clip Type.
Clip type.
Just by tapping
Clip type.
C on my keyboard. Clip type is video.
That helps.
This means that only video clips, not audio clips or still image files or timelines, will find their way into this smart bin. But that's just video. What if I have video with audio? Well, in this case, I'm going to add another rule to this sub rule and specify the clip type is video and audio. Now I can choose to create my smart bin. and the results of that smart bin will be automatically updated. So if I add any additional clips to this project, providing those clips meet the criteria, I'll be able to find them in this smart bin. If you want to edit a smart bin for any reason...
Wait a minute, did I miss something here? Okay, let me check here. So, does not contain interview, it does not contain credits. Why does he get clips and I don't? Like because if I uncheck that, I get does not contain credits. Any, there we go. That's why I screwed up. We needed that any. I'm getting excited because I am not good at this. This is really exciting to me, like learning a new skill, but it's also like overwhelming because right now I'm happy if I absorb 10% and remember it, and then it's like grind until I absorb more. What's up, Space Trace? Welcome to chat. Tonight we're learning how to edit videos. So no gaming, we're just learning tonight. So I'm doing my first class of DaVinci Resolve, so feel free to join.
Choose to create my smart bin.
So we have our smart bin.
And the results of that smart bin will be automatically updated. So if I add any additional clips to this project,
don't forget to like and sub.
Providing those clips meet the criteria, I'll be able to find them in this smart bin. If you want to edit a smart bin for any reason, just simply double click on the smart bin and the rules of that smart bin will open up, allowing you to change them. There's one other thing that we can actually use the metadata for in Resolve, and that's to actually use the information in the metadata in order to be able to rename the clip within the project. This can be very useful if you actually want to do a search across a clip name, or you just want to simply have a sanity check as to what that actual clip is. By naming the clip in an appropriate way, it's easy to check that. Okay. So here in the B-roll smart bin, I'm just going to select all of those clips just by dragging a lasso across them. Then I'm going to right click and choose Clip Attributes.
Clip Attributes?
Choose the name panel from Clip Attributes and highlight the default clip name. So in this case, I actually want all of my B-roll clips to start with the initials AOA for
AOA. Okay, so we want to go to blum blum blum. We want to up clip attributes. We want to name. So what did he say here?
And highlight the default clip name. So in this case, I actually want all of my B-roll clips to start with the initials AOA for Age of Airplanes. So I'm just going to type in AOA underscore in order to separate the next information. Now I want to take
AOA underscore, okay. AOA underscore
information from the metadata, and in order to do this I need to add what we call a variable. To add the variable, all you need to do is put in the percentage symbol, and now it'll give you an option to choose whichever metadata field that you want to add. In this case we want to choose the shot metadata field, so I'm just going to type the word shot after the percentage value, and you can see here in the menu I've got the shot option, so I'm going to select that. And that has now added a tag to my clip name based on the shot information for each of these clips.
Oh shit!
Again, I'm going to use underscore, percentage, and then use...
Hey, favorites, be nice to Chris. He's a nice tutor. Hell yeah, you smashed that like, Space Trace. I love it. Sonny relying on his DaVinci tutor to keep the stream funding side. Hey, Chris has been taking shots before the stream. That's why his eye is a little bit droopy.
Comments.
What are we doing now? And comments. Okay, so we're gonna do. Online. Percentage. Comments. Comments. Perfect.
Now when I click OK, the clips are now all...
Look at this guy. He's so good. I'm gonna be just like him when I grow up. Fucking A. Oh yeah, that's my... Kenya! Africa! Look at this. I'm only used to me yellow airplane.
renamed in the media pool using AOA underscore the shot number underscore the comments field. This is going to make it easier for me to be able to locate each of the clips and actually use them in my edit. I want to do the same with the interview clips. So I'm going to select the interview smart bin, select the interview clips, right click, clip attributes, in the name, highlight the name field, and this time I'm going to type in int underscore percentage shot.
Okay.
Underscore
calm down there. You're really quick here. So int underscore shot. Okay. Yeah, int for interview. Int underscore percentage comments, and then probably underscore percentage shot is probably what he's gonna do now. Shot. Bam. Let's see if I was right. See if we're catching on to this.
Percentage comments.
Oh, he did shot and then percentage comments.
And then choose OK.
Oh, fuck. I'm bad. Take that away. Bam. Online. Percentage comments. Perfect. Okay, let's get Chris back on here.
And now you can see that the interview clips have been named with the appropriate soundbite information.
Okay. Let's get it in mini player again.
Now that I've got all of the clips organized for the project, I'm now going to go to the edit page so I can actually start editing.
Chris legit
just simply
beats up
click on the edit page button, and all of the information that you've just organized inside the media pool and the media page is now available to me.
What did he click?
Just simply click on the edit page button, and all of the information that you've just organized inside the media pool and the media page is now available to me. And the great thing is that I can keep organizing this footage as I'm working.
That is actually really nice.
The organization process when you're editing never really stops. It just gets refined the more that you do. I'm actually going to start by selecting the master bin in the media pool and creating a new bin, just a regular bin that I'm going to call timelines. In this case, it's often useful to keep your timelines organized in separate bins so that you know where they all are.
So where did he go?
Just a regular bin that I'm going to call timelines that you do. I'm actually going to start by selecting the master bin in the media pool and creating a new bin, just a regular bin that I'm going to call timelines. In this case, it's often useful to keep your timelines organized in separate bins so that you know where they all are.
Okay.
Make sure you've got the timeline bin selected, and then go to the File menu and choose New Timeline.
Okay, File menu, New Timeline. New Timeline. I'm starting to catch on.
Let's just change the name of this timeline so it's something a little bit more appropriate for this project.
Age of airplanes.
AOA.
AOA, okay. Hey, yo. AOA.
Trailer. And we'll just call it version 1.
Trailer. Version 1.
Quite often you'll go through a number of different versions for all of your edits. If you wish to, you can actually override the default project settings for any timeline. Just simply uncheck the Use Project Settings option, and then you can go into the format to change the timeline resolution and the timeline frame rate. However, in this case, because we already changed the frame rate for the project, we know that this is actually the correct setting. So I'm just going to re-enable the project settings and choose Create. Now I have a timeline, I can actually start assembling the material directly in the timeline and start putting together this edit and making some sort of sense of the material that I've got. So let's go to the Interview Smart bin so that we can actually see the interview clips. From the Sort menu in the Media Pool, just click and make sure that you're organizing these clips by clip name. This will put them in the order.
Where do you go? Where did you go, buddy?
Interview clips. From the Sort menu in the Media Pool, just click and make sure that.
So we want to go Sort, clip name, yep. We're in.
That you're organizing these clips by clip name. This will put them in the order that we're roughly interested in. In this case, we actually have Pt.1, and it's called Shoot the Real World based on the naming convention that we're using for this project. You can see that as I'm scrubbing backwards and forwards, my live media preview is on so that I can actually see the content of that clip. If my audio scrubbing was also turned on, I would also be able to hear the audio scrub as I move my mouse back and forth. To turn the audio scrubbing on and off, you can use Shift S. I'm going to double click this clip and that will actually open it directly into the source viewer. Now I can use the scrubber bar here in order to be able to return to the beginning of that clip. And I'm just going to play the clip through just so that we can all listen to the interview. You could use the space bar or the L key.
Yeah. So in this film, making a documentary about how the airplanes changed the world, it was really important to go out and shoot the real world and how the airplane is connecting and making all the things possible that I want to convey in the film.
Well, obviously, I don't want to use all of that interview. But in this case, as a good starting point, I'm actually just going to bring the whole clip into the timeline. Now, there are several ways in which we can do that. For example, I could just pick the clip up from the source viewer and drag it and drop it into the timeline. This is often a manual way of being able to edit, but it's very limiting on what I can actually do when it comes to editing footage together. So in this case, I'm just going to press Command or Control Z just to be able to undo those changes. And this time, instead of dragging and dropping the clip into the timeline, I'm actually going to pick the clip up and drag across to the timeline viewer. And you'll notice on the right-hand side of the timeline viewer, I've actually got all of the editing functions that I can perform inside the edit page. So this is a useful way of being able to remind yourself of the different functions that we have. The default is actually overwrite edit. If I now let go of the mouse, the clip is edited instantly to the beginning of the timeline. The timeline viewer has automatically become active. So if I use the up arrow on the keyboard, I can return to the beginning of the timeline. I'm just going to play forward, just like I did in the source viewer, using the L key on my keyboard.
Yeah. So in this film, making a documentary about how the airplanes changed the world, it was really important to go out and shoot the real world.
That's a good place for this soundbite to end. Now you can see in the timeline I've got a good guide with the image of the waveform where he starts and stops speaking. And you can actually use this as a guide.
I wonder if we can find somebody speedrunning this tutorial.
When you actually want to position the playhead for the next edit. And in this case, I'm actually going to click the Detail Zoom button just to be able to step into the timeline a little bit clearer. And then use the J and L keys in order to be able to find the exact point within that interview where he's finished that line, real world. And you can see from the waveform, this is very...
Or it didn't make the movie. It was really important. Every shot was original and that everything was real. But there's...
And that's the word real, where I actually want this soundbite to. I can jog through one frame at a time for his soundbite.
movie. It was really important. Every shot.
Let's try that first.
Where was
Regular bin. Use project setting. This will put them in the order. The
movie. It was really important.
Let's try that first. And that
movie. It was really important. Every shot
so
was
what did we do
original
here?
and that everything was real. But there's a few things only.
And again, I don't want to use all the interview. I only want to use a portion of the relevant part. Let's try that first. And that actually shows me a waveform very similar to the waveform that I have for the clip in the timeline. But because it's actually showing me the whole interview, it's actually a little bit difficult. The zoomed audio waveform.
Okay, so where did he go for that? He goes up there. So we're gonna click here and we're gonna do zoomed audio waveform. It doesn't really change anything for me.
And click the options menu. That's the 3 dots that you see at the top of the viewer. We can actually choose to show the zoomed audio waveform. You can also choose to show a full clip audio waveform. Let's try that first.
Okay, let's do show clip. Okay, so that shows it up here. Okay. Doesn't really help because we have it down here too.
And that actually shows me a waveform very similar to the waveform that I have for the clip in the timeline. But because it's actually showing me the whole interview, it's actually a little bit difficult to actually focus on where I want to concentrate on. So in this case, I'm going to click back in the options menu again and choose show zoomed audio waveform. Now as I scrub through the clip,
Okay, so show zoomed on. There you go.
you can see that it will actually show me a detail.
It'll be detailed. That's actually useful for clipping because you see the spaces here, he's nothing. That's probably an Like if I click here, that's probably going to be an
So.
No, it was a so. But those are things that you don't want, right? So that's like this whole, like here, it's just like, yeah. Okay.
Detailed waveform view, depending where I am within the clip. I'm going to return the playhead to the beginning of that clip. I'm just going to play it through, and I'm listening for the first line for his soundbite.
All 7 continents, 18 countries. It was very important that everything was real. If it was possible to shoot it, we wanted to go shoot it.
So that's where I want him to start, where he says, if it was possible to shoot it, we wanted to go shoot it. So I'm now just going to press the J key just to be able to back that up to the beginning of that soundbite. And listening to it closely, there's an at the beginning that I actually don't want to include within the soundbite. So now I can actually jog through, if I turn on my audio scrubbing, I can jog through 1 frame at a time. You can use the left and right arrow keys for this, but I actually find it's really useful holding down the K key and tapping the J or the L keys. So at this point, I want to add an in point into my source viewer. There's only one way you really need.
Okay, so let's find that part here.
So in this film, making a documentary about how the airplanes changed the world, it was really important to go out and shoot the real world and how the airplane is connecting and in this film, making a documentary about how the airplanes changed the world, it was really important to go out and shoot the real world and how the airplane is connecting and making all the things possible that I want to convey in the film.
Okay, so he wants me to edit what?
Need to know how to do this, and that's by pressing I on your keyboard.
So I is going to split the clip.
So I'm now going to play the interview through to find the end of the soundbite that I'm interested in.
If it was possible to shoot it, we wanted to go shoot it. If we couldn't get...
If it was possible to shoot it, Is this?
It was really important. Every shot was original and that everything was real. But there's a few things, only all 7 continents, 18 countries. It was very important that everything was real. If it was possible to shoot it, we wanted to go shoot it. If we couldn't get the shot, it wasn't right.
Okay, so he is editing this one, yeah. Shoot the real world in every shot. Okay, so we want to.
Was real. If it was possible.
Let's jog.
If it was possible. If it was.
So we have a small point here. Let's zoom in more. Can we? It's frame by frame that every. So that's gonna be our in point.
If it was possible to shoot it, we wanted to shoot it. We wanted to go shoot it. If we couldn't get the shot or the weather wasn't right, we would either go all 7 continents, 18 countries. It was very important that everything was real. If it was possible to shoot it,
You might want to do a little bit. Do in point here.
If it was possible to shoot.
Yeah. Because R goes into an if.
If it was possible to shoot.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
If it was possible to shoot it, we wanted to go shoot it.
Shoot it. Okay. Hush.
Get the shot or the weather wasn't right, we would either go back to that location, stay at that location longer, or it didn't make the movie. It was really important. Every shot was original and that everything was real. But there's.
And that's the word real where I actually want this soundbite to end. So I'm just going to back the playhead up.
And that everything was real. But.
And again, you heard a little bit of the but at the beginning, so I'm just going to come back.
So.
If we couldn't get the shot or the weather wasn't right, we would either go back to that location, stay at that location longer, or it didn't make the movie. It was really important. Every shot was original and that everything was real. But there's a.
So that's our end point, I'm pretty sure.
But there's a. But there's a.
There. Closed mouth. That ends that sentence. Might be a little bit of a.
Just a few frames. Find that gap that you can see there in the waveform, and that's where I want to add my out point.
My out point. Okay. So maybe.
There's a few things, only all 7 continents, 18 countries. It was very important that everything was real. If it was possible to
I get
shoot
why
it, we
Landon
wanted to go
stopped
shoot
making documentaries. Shit, this is hard.
We couldn't get the shot or the weather wasn't right, we would either go back to that location, stay at that location longer, or it didn't make the movie. It was really important. Every shot was original and that everything was real.
Okay, real.
But there's it was real.
It's gonna be my endpoint.
And of course, magic shortcut is O for out.
O for out. Okay, we got a clip. Oh. Okay, we got something here.
Now that I've got my in and out points set, I might want to just double check that they're in the right position. So I can actually press Shift-I to jump directly to an in point, Shift-O to jump directly to an out point. If I actually want to preview the soundbite between the in and the out point, I can hold down the Option key and press the / key on my keyboard.
If it was possible to shoot it, we wanted to go shoot it.
So Option and forward. Is that Control? Can we? What is Option on? Like Command? How do I? Is there a button in match frame? Mark in, mark out.
But there's a few things, only.
And oh no, wrong button. I and then.
If it was possible to shoot it, we wanted to go shoot it. If we couldn't get the shot or the weather wasn't right, we would either go back to that location, stay at that location longer, or it didn't make the movie. It was really important. Every shot was original and that everything was real. But there's a few things, only.
How do I do that? What's the command for? Let's go back 10 seconds.
I can actually press Shift-I to jump directly to an in point, Shift-O to jump directly to an out point. If I actually want to preview the soundbite between the in and the out point, I can hold down the Option key and press the / key on.
Which one? Which one is Option key on? Alt. Okay, that's good. Okay.
My keyboard. If I actually want to preview the soundbite between the in and the out point, I can hold down the Option key and press the / key on my keyboard.
If it was
So the forward slash. Which one is the / key? Oh, that makes sense. Holy shit, I'm dumb. Okay.
If it was possible to shoot it, we
That's
wanted to
how I
go
do it.
shoot it. If we couldn't get the shot or the weather wasn't right, we would either go back to that location, stay at that location longer, or it didn't make the movie. It was really important. Every shot was original and that everything was real.
Yeah, that was a good one. I think that was a good clip. You making pizza? What kind of pizza, dude? Oh yeah, / Yeah, I when I saw what it was, I was like, I'm so dumb, so dumb. Okay. Now the question is, what do we do after this?
Possible to shoot it, we wanted to go shoot it. If we couldn't get the shot or the weather wasn't right, we would either go back to that location, stay at that location longer, or it didn't make the movie. It was really important. Every shot was original and that everything was real.
And it's a little bit tight on the output there, so I'm just going to jog forward just a frame and reset the out point by pressing O. However, sometimes you don't want to listen to the whole soundbite from beginning to end. It could actually be quite long. So if you actually just want to preview where the out point is,
that what they call it?
just simply bring your playhead a few seconds to before the out point. And then from the playback menu, you can choose play around to, play to out. And you can see here, keyboard shortcut is Option Command /.
And that everything was real.
So now that I've got the in and the out point set for this soundbite,
I don't get what he just did there.
Shout from beginning to end. It could actually be quite long. So if you actually just want to preview where the out point is, just simply bring your playhead a few seconds to before the out point. And then from the playback menu, you can choose play around to,
Oh, that makes
play
sense.
to out. And you can see here, keyboard shortcut
That makes sense.
is Option Command /.
And that everything was real.
So now that I've got the in and the out point set for this soundbite, I'm going to edit it into the timeline using an overwrite edit.
Turney, have some
Now I can pick the clip
have some cauliflower pizza on me, Turney.
up again and drag and drop over the timeline viewer to access the overwrite. I don't need to drag to the actual overlay. However, if I just come down here to the top of the timeline, you'll see that there are 3 editing function buttons. These buttons are probably the most common used editing features, which is why they've been included at the top of the timeline. You'll see that the middle one of those buttons is actually overwrite clip, and my keyboard shortcut for this is F10. Now, if you're on a Mac, you may find that the F10 key doesn't perform an overwrite edit by default, in which case you'll need to go into your system preferences and change the keyboard settings so that it uses all the F1 and F2 keys as standard function keys.
All the effort.
If I just press F10, you'll see that the clip is overwritten into the timeline. It's actually overwritten the tail end of the first interview clip. If I use the up arrow key to navigate back to the previous edit point, and then
Okay, so let's do. So we override it. Probably at the wrong spot.
preview the edit using the / key.
Shoot the real world. If it was possible to shoot it, we wanted to go.
The first edit point, and then preview the edit using the / key.
Shoot the real world. If it was possible to shoot it, we wanted to go.
Oh yeah. So if we, oopsies. Can I drag this? So we want to
shoot the real world and how the world and how the airplane
shoot the real world
and how the airplane world and how the airplane and how the airplane the real world.
There we go. Now we'll do override clip. And then Alt /
Yeah. So in this film, making a documentary about how the airplanes changed the world, it was really important to go out and shoot the real world. If it was possible to shoot it, we wanted to go shoot it. If we couldn't get the shot or the weather wasn't
acceptable,
right,
we gotta
go back to that
first
location,
edit that 2
longer,
clips!
or it didn't make the movie. It was really important. Every shot was original and that everything was real.
Another boss! That was my first boss in this. Audacity is an audio editing platform. We're doing video, Nick. Audacity is fire though. I love Audacity. Don't hate on Audacity. Ooh, damn, Nick with the charcuterie board. Fuck me. Ladies, watch out, because Star's at charcuterie board and all of a sudden you're the charcuterie board. Shit. Fucking Nick over here. Actually, hot take. But isn't a pizza technically a hot charcuterie board that you can eat? It's got everything you want on the charcuterie board. You buy an actual good quality charcuterie board though. Find somebody who's good at woodwork. Anyway, where were we? Damn.
The first interview clip now ends at the right point.
We're half an hour in.
The second interview clip starts at the right point, but it's a little bit too tight. We've also got a very nasty visual jump cut between 2 interview clips.
Yes.
So we now want to start to insert some of the B-roll in, just to be able to pace out those interviews. Let's go to the B-roll smart bin. Let's go for this second clip here of this A3.
B-roll smart bin, and let's go for the second of this B whatever. This guy would be a guy that knows like what kind of. See, actually, let me just show. Where do we have?
Taking off. Let's double click to open it up into the source viewer and then use the
Double click to open it up in source viewer.
JK and L keys in order to be able to preview this clip. That's fine. Just as the wheels are about to leave the tarmac, let's set an in point a second or so before that. And let's set an out leave the tarmac. Let's set an in point a second.
We're gonna have our in point here. So it's like I, right? I, and then O
Also
is our
before
output.
that. And let's set.
How far did he get his? It's good. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect.
An out point just after the plane has left frame. Be sure that the playhead is on the edge. And here, the first, sure that the play. Let's double click to open it up. Sure that the playhead is on the edit point in the timeline. So double click to open it up into the source viewer, and then use the JK and L keys in order to be able to preview this
The band
clip.
flavored nickel products in
That's
California.
fine.
That's,
just as the wheels are about to leave the tarmac, let's set an in point a second or so before that. And let's set an out point
just when it leaves. Okay. Out point here. So we are in and out. Now how are we gonna edit
just
that?
after the plane has left frame before we get a very horrible sort of camera movement there. So let's set an out point as the tail of the frame has left the shot. Because the playhead is in the right place in the timeline, I don't need to worry about where this shot is going to end up. Make sure that the playhead is on the edit point in the timeline so that you're inserting it in the right place.
So at the edit point. There we go.
And in this case, I'm just going to pick the clip up and drag across to my overlays. And this time, to perform an insert edit, I'll just drag it to the insert overlay. And that inserts the clip.
Very cool. So we're gonna insert this. This is actually really cool, this software. Okay, so it's there. I'm learning a lot! I'm so happy I'm taking this class because I would never learn these things. Woo! Chat! Is this Microsoft Flight Simulator? Yeah, I'm doing a trailer for Turney's Flight Simulator streams. By the way, Turney, when are you gonna stream again? Damn, clipboards, cutting boards. I kind of want a custom clipboard. That would be sick. Get everybody right up. Be like me.
In the timeline and moves the second interview clip out of the way. This is one of the advantages for using those overlays rather than the drag and drop approach to editing. Using a drag and drop approach, you wouldn't be able to insert the clip as efficiently. No. So again, one reason for using these functions.
Chris, you're the homie.
In the timeline, let's move the playhead back to the start of that clip. So we're on the first frame of the Lufthansa plane. And in this case, let's go to this clip here. It's called AO1 A380 Taxi. Let's double click that to open it up. Now you'll notice straight away that this clip has audio. Not great audio, however. So what we need to do here is we need to actually make sure that when we insert this into the timeline, that we're not actually going to use the audio. Now, there are a couple of ways that we can do
Probably
this.
this one.
A simple way would be if we were using drag and drop editing over the timeline viewer. We can actually come here to the source viewer and actually specify using one of these overlays whether we want to edit just picture or just sound. So in this case, I can click on the overlay, drag across to the timeline viewer and choose insert in order to be able to just insert the picture and not the audio for this clip. However, I'm just going to undo that with Command Z, because if I want to use my keyboard shortcuts or my editing buttons at the top of the timeline, unfortunately I can't specify using that overlay whether I'm using just the picture or just the sound.
Damn. Tony's on that fucking Deftones shit.
For example, if I come here and use the insert editing function, you'll see it will actually edit the audio.
Insert. It's gonna edit the audio in there.
In as well as the picture. Again, I'm just going to undo that. So there's actually another.
So. Fuck! Fuck! I spilled beer. 1 second, chat. First. God damn it! This is why I don't buy a fancy keyboard like Not James. Fuck! Oh! Loud noises! Oh my god, it's beer. Wah. Oh my god, there's beer everywhere. Oh no, there's beer on this. Oh no, there's beer there? Come on. Oh man, there's beer. God! Fucking. Oh, now it's editing for me too? It's. Oh my god, we need to get this. No, stop the editing. Keyboard is soaked in beer. This is why we don't drink and edit. Oh my. Fuck. Stop editing. Oh, it's on the. Fuck. Jävlar! Helvete! Fucking jävla skit också. Oh my god, I was checking on text from my girlfriend. She didn't even have texted me. I was like looking at god fucking piss skit jävla. What is Faithless doing over here? That better not be a clip. It's not even time. You guys don't even have time to clip this. Like, okay, we got this ready because I'm smart. God damn it. Sorry, loud noises. Sorry, not so. Fan. Jävlar! Helv. Oh my god, there's so much beer here. Why is there so much beer? Why? What's that? Oh, that's a napkin. I'm sure you can't hear any of that, and it's probably not abrasive for your ears. But you know what? Okay, so now I'm spilling protein shake. Oh my god, that wasn't as much though, but fuck, that's, oh no, now there's a new spill. Why does this have to be whack-a-mole? Nobody send this clip to my girlfriend. She will just not trust me doing anything if she sees this. I do not need to be a stereotype of a man. Fuck! God damn it! Oh! God, there's beer everywhere! How much? Dude, there wasn't even that much beer! Oh my god. Dude, how much? Dude, there's so much beer here. I wonder how much of my editing. Honestly, we are gonna make. You know what? I'm gonna make a concrete cup holder. That's not a bad idea, attorney. It's funny, like, not James is always on me, like, buy a custom keyboard, you should build your own keyboard. This is why I don't invest in keyboards. This is why I'm not allowed nice things. You know what? You know what? You know what, Turney? Actually, Turney? Turney, well, you know what my first video is gonna be? Remind me this, hold me to this, chat. Because I suck so much, we have a video idea now. We're gonna go to Home Depot, buy some concrete or cement, and make a cement cup holder. We're gonna make the heaviest motherfucking cup holder that is freaking, like, impossible to flip over. That's what we're gonna do. It's gonna be so obnoxiously dumb, and then we're gonna make a YouTube video of it as a practice YouTube video. Just to learn how to edit. Wouldn't that be fun? Also, you get a little bit of IRL if I go out in the real world, which I'm sure you fools would love. Wouldn't be the typical IRL though, because I won't get arrested, because that's not my style. Okay. Crisis not averted, just made okay. So yeah, I actually have a little bit of cement jobs or like concrete that I need to work with. Okay, now that everything is sticky, where were we? Oh yeah, I have some beer to spill. Let's spill the rest of the beer. Okay, where's my mouse? Oh yeah, I need to dry up my mouse. Okay. What's up, Chris?
Editing function, you'll see it will actually edit the audio in as well as the picture. Again, I'm just going to undo that. So there's actually another control that we can use in order to be able to specify whether we're editing just picture or just sound directly into the timeline. It's these two buttons that appear with
4x4 piece steel, preferably 3 to 8 inch thick, to play it safe, mount a cup holder to it with cement glue. I like that. I like that. No, that's Nick's idea now. Nick just made that idea. Guys, play nice. It's Nick and Turney are my my sidekick. Yeah, we're gonna design a
red borders along the left-hand side of the timeline. These are your source controls. I'm actually going to come down to the audio source control here, and I'm just going to simply click once in order to disable that button in the timeline. Now when I perform an insert edit using the timeline button, no audio is brought into the timeline.
Okay.
And this also means I can use my keyboard shortcuts efficiently as well.
We're gonna bring in the taxi one. We're gonna get with this one. Oops. Or yeah. And we'll do.
Well,
Bam.
another insert edit that we're now going to want to do is actually within this interview clip here. So I'm going to move the playhead to the beginning of that interview clip, and I'm just going to play through the beginning of it for the first soundbite.
If it was possible to shoot it, we wanted to go shoot it.
If it was possible to shoot it, we wanted to go shoot it. That's where
If it was possible to shoot it, we wanted to go shoot it.
I actually want to insert the next shot.
We wanted to go shoot it.
The shot that I'm actually looking for is in my B-roll smart bin, and it's
If we couldn't get the shot or the weather wasn't right, we would either go back to that. If we couldn't get the shot or the weather wasn't shoot it. If we
the clip of AOA 10 Maldives. So double click
AOA 10 Maldives. Double click that.
that to open it into the source viewer. I love this shot. It's this wonderful sort of in and out shot, where the camera is half submerged in the water.
That's a
and
nice
there's a
shot.
plane that comes in over the top of the camera. I'm actually just going to set an in point just as the shadow of the plane appears over the coral. And now I actually want to specify around about a 3-second clip. So one way that we can do that is actually to use time code information to be able to move forwards and backwards through the clip. In this case, I'm just going to hit the plus key on my keyboard and type in 300, which you can actually see in the top time code field in the source viewer, actually translates to 3 seconds. Hit the return key, press O to set the out point in order to set a 3-second clip.
Which one is return now? Which one is return key? Return key is what? Is that backspace? Oh. Return is enter. Motherfucker. Okay, so plus return. Who calls that return? It's enter, motherfucker.
Actually, technically, it's 3 seconds and 1 frame, as you can see from the duration field. However, the playhead is inclusive of the frame that you're currently on.
We have an inclusive playhead. Lol, enter. To be fair, it was kind of Nick's idea first. I made one to hold double cups, also in cement glue, strong magnets on the bottom. Yeah, I guess we're gonna buy some concrete and make something.
So the out point is always set at the tail of that frame. If you need it to be 3 seconds exactly, you just need to come back 1 frame before you set the out point. But now I can do.
So we have the out point here. Did we put it out point? There we go. Now it's an out point.
Do an insert edit by pressing F9.
Okay, so I want to insert it.
Excellent. So now.
So we want to have it here.
shoot it.
We've got the.
If we couldn't get the if we couldn't get the shot or the weather wasn't if it was possible to shoot it, we wanted to go shoot it. If we couldn't get the shot or the weather wasn't right, we would either go back to that we wanted to go shoot it. If we if
Okay, so, and he wants me to what? Inserted where?
You just need to come back one frame. The playhead is, you might want to start refining parts of the timeline by removing sections. Zooming in the timeline, excellent. Seconds exactly. You just need to come back one frame before you set the out point. But now I can do an insert edit by pressing F9.
Okay, so we're gonna do an F9. Okay. Looks like we got it pretty nice edited.
Excellent. So now we've got the edit really starting to come together. However, at this point, you're probably wanting to...
Hey, Tony, I have a band for you. Actually. They're called Fiends. Or Fiend. My coworker's boyfriend plays for them, and they're pretty good. You would dig it. Let me just check what they're called, if that's exactly what they're called. But I listened to them, and it was definitely something that you and me would appreciate. No, it's Fiends. Fiends. And you should check out what was the song called? Keep Me in the Dark. Next time they play in the area, I'm gonna go see them. They were pretty good when I listened to them the other night. It was funny, like I was talking to my coworker and she's like, "What music do you listen to?" I was like, "I mean metal. What else is there?" She's like, "Oh, my boyfriend's a metal band. Do you like Gojira?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, I like Gojira. Like, do you like Birdflesh?" Speaking of metals, I need to practice bracing. I want to build some skills for my RCs, especially a roll cage and a custom flatbed with a wood deck. That would be sick. That sounds cool. Okay, so guys, looking at my project, it looks like I'm an editor now. This looks like what those YouTubers do. I'm a YouTuber now, huh? This is exciting. I'm really excited for this series. And by the way, one fun fact about the video editing. So with my video game streams, I usually do that around 10. With these video editing things, I'm gonna be streaming these at random hours. So you might see me at 2 o'clock in the middle of the night streaming video editing. If you see that, it doesn't mean I'm mentally ill. It just means that I can't sleep and I want to learn. So right now, like, I just want to document all the learning, like the way I'm not in like, I wish I was in college and I could justify going back to college and just study video editing. But what do you pay for college? You pay to show up to class, right? And have to show up to class. I feel like me streaming is me showing up for class. So me editing with you guys looking at me, I can't cheat. You guys are my teachers. You're the ones who are gonna give me the attention if I slack off on this. So I'm excited. Now, Chris.
Get a little bit more control of the timeline, particularly when it comes to zooming. Also, you might want to start refining parts of the timeline by removing sections. Zooming in the timeline is actually much simpler in DaVinci Resolve 17 than it's ever been. We've already encountered 2 fixed zoom functions. These are the full extent zoom, which will always show the full length of your timeline, irrespective of how much content is in the timeline. And you've also got the detail zoom button, which allows you to zoom in to a fixed point on the timeline wherever your playhead happens to be. However, you've also got a custom zoom option as well. So this button allows you to set your own zoom level, which you can do by just simply dragging the slider or using the plus and minus buttons to zoom in and out. Or you could use keyboard shortcuts.
Today we're learning a lot about layouts, so it's kind of boring, I'm sure.
Allows you to zoom in on your playhead. Command minus allows you to zoom out. If you're on a PC, instead of using command, you just simply use control. And you can also use Shift Z in order to be able to fill the timeline window. This isn't the same as actually using the full extent zoom button, however. The Shift Z function allows you to see the full timeline zoom, but it doesn't remain fixed at the full timeline zoom. So if you add any other clips to the timeline, you'll have to manually change the zoom in order to be able to focus on the parts of the timeline that you actually want to work with. However, Shift Z is very useful if you actually want to return to a previous zoom level in the timeline. Just simply toggling Shift Z is a very useful way of being able to step in and out of the timeline.
I keep on forgetting that people don't say Z, so that is one of the few things that I carried over from learning English in Europe. I still say Z. Because for me, I have an accent, so if I say Z, it's very easy for people thinking I'm saying C. So I just say said, because with the accent, like, it could be, I could be talking about celery, or I can talk about zebras. You don't know. So said it is. I'm always gonna do said. By the way, is it Americans that do this and Europeans do this? I still do this. I don't know if that's American of me or not. I think Americans do this and Europeans do this. Oh. I need 1 more. 2 more. 3 more. 4 more. 5 more.
If you've got a 3-button mouse with a scroll wheel on it, then what you can do is just hold down the Shift key and use the scroll wheel in order to be able to dynamically adjust the height of each of the tracks. And you can also change the bias between the video and the audio part in order to be able to get a larger audio track. And you can actually see how easy it is now to see the waveform for those clips. If you don't have a wheeled 3-button mouse, then you can always use the timeline view options menu here, and then actually use the track height sliders at the bottom of that menu in order to be able to adjust the height of your video and audio tracks. So now that we've looked at how to adjust the timeline zoom level so that you can comfortably view the timeline depending on what you need to do, let's look at how we can remove some of these clips and start to refine the edit a little bit further. To begin with, you might want to actually remove just a simple portion of a clip. For example, you might want to remove the video or audio part of a clip. If I actually concentrate on this middle interview here, I'm just going to move the playhead over that and hit my detail zoom button so that I can focus on this. You should notice on the left-hand side of the clip in both the video and the audio, there are 2 little chains.
1 second, we're going to change this here. Audio, I'm gonna do in the full waveform and then audio.
Link icons. This indicates that this clip is linked in both its video and audio portions. Using linked clips is very, very useful because it means that you can move them around very easily. When you select the video portion of a linked clip, the audio portion is also selected automatically. So it means it's very hard to move these things out of sync. However, in this case, I just want to remove the video portion of this clip. To override the link temporarily on the timeline, just simply hold down the Option or Alt key on your keyboard and then click on the video clip in order to be able to select it. Alternatively, you can actually turn off the linking for the whole timeline by just coming up and choosing your link selection button.
Yeah, I'm not
going
to do that. Where did my beer go? There it
And with
is.
that turned off, if you hold down the Option key and select a clip, it will actually select any linked parts of the clip automatically. So basically the Option or Alt key just simply reverses whatever your link selection is set to for your timeline. With the video clip selected, I'm just going to go back to my full extent zoom so you can see what happens to the timeline. And I now want to ripple delete the clip. So in this case, I'm going to hold down Shift and use the Delete key in order to be able to remove that clip. And you'll see it removed the video clip, but it didn't remove the audio portion of the clip. More importantly, it's also closed the gap and rippled the timeline in order to make the timeline slightly.
How did I do that? Freddie, how did you do that?
Reverses whatever your link selection is set to for your timeline. With the video clip selected, I'm just going to go back to my full extent zoom so you can see what happens to the timeline. And I now want to ripple delete the clip. So in this case, I'm going to hold down Shift and use the Delete key in order to be able to remove that clip. And you'll see it remove the video clip.
Shift, delete. Why can't I delete? Is it Alt delete? Control delete? Motherfucker. How do you do this, motherfucker?
So it means it's very hard to move these things out of sync. However, in this case, I just want to remove the video portion of this clip. To override the link temporarily on the timeline, just simply hold down the Option or Alt key on your keyboard and then click on the video clip in order to be able to select it. Alternatively, you can...
So, hold Alt, click, then Shift delete. Why can't I Shift delete? Can I just click delete selected? It's backspace. See if I can do backspace. Bam, backspace. Don't even need to do that. But then it doesn't fix the whole time. Oh, so Alt, Shift, delete. Why can't I Shift delete? This is a minimum. I wish I can with my fingers to have a say. You're too smart for that. This is a money boss. Fucker.
Actually turn off the linking for the whole timeline by just coming up and choosing your link selection button here. And with that turned off, if you hold down the Option key and select a clip, it will actually select any linked parts of the clip automatically. So basically the Option or Alt key just simply reverses whatever your link selection is set to for your timeline. With the video clip selected, I'm just going to go back to my full extent.
So what if I do this? And then now it works. Now it works. Fuck me. Why did it work there?
Zoom so you can see what happens to the timeline. And I now want to rip.
I'm gonna pee. I'm gonna celebrate this mini boss win with a pee. A good and nice pee. Let's go. Let's go. Mini boss done. Shit, we only got 30 minutes left. We're done with 39 minutes. We're doing great.
We'll delete the clip. So in this case, I'm going to hold down Shift and use the delete key in order to be able to remove that clip. And you'll see it removed the video clip, but it didn't remove the audio portion of the clip.
Yeah.
More importantly, it's also closed the gap and rippled the timeline in order to make the timeline slightly shorter. And the full extent zoom is actually still showing me the full length of that timeline. However, something else that you may need to do is actually be able to remove a portion of a clip from within the clip. And a good example of this is if you're working with interview clips. Let's move the playhead to the start of the last interview clip in the timeline and then use the detail zoom button in order to be able to zoom in. There's a line in this clip that I actually want to remove, so I'm just going to preview the clip just by playing it.
If we couldn't get the shot or the weather wasn't right, we would either go back to that location, stay at that location longer, or it didn't make the movie. It was really...
So he says, we either go back to that location, stay at that location longer, or it didn't make the movie. It's a little bit repetitious, it's not quite, but the director actually wants to take the second line out there, stay at that location longer.
Get the shot
so let's look at how we can do that. First of all, we can actually see the waveform where the portion of the dialogue is that we actually want to take out. Again, using the Shift key and the scroll mouse, I can actually make that even bigger. I'm going to move the playhead back, and my audio scrubbing is going to come into handy here. So I'm just going to play forward.
Stay at that location. That location, stay.
And I can hear the beginning of the word stay. Making sure that my playhead is on that point, you can see from the waveform in the timeline that I look as though I'm at the correct location. And now what I want to do is I want to cut this section out. So I'm actually going to use the blade edit mode for the timeline.
This one?
Coming here to these first 4 buttons at the top of the timeline, these are my different timelines.
Stay at that location, stay at
We're gonna cut it here.
Line editing modes. The first of these is the default selection mode. This allows me to click on clips, move them around, and delete clips. I've also got my blade edit mode, featuring a very frightening looking razor blade icon, I have to say.
Wait, what did you say?
Move them around and delete clips.
It's a scary one.
I've also got my blade edit mode, featuring a very frightening looking razor blade icon,
it's very frightening.
If I select that or use the keyboard shortcut B, I can then bring that blade down into the timeline here. Making sure that my snapping is on, you can see how easily that line will actually snap to where my playhead is. And I'm just going to click once. In order to be able to add and edit. That's the beginning part of the clip that I actually want to lose from the timeline. I now need to find the end.
Stay at that location longer, or it didn't make this or acknowledge.
Okay, so we're gonna actually zoom in hard here. So here we're gonna do a blade. I'm gonna use my blade.
Longer, or
and I'm looking for the word or. About there. It's taken a little bit of sort of jogging back and forward 1 frame at a time, just in order to be able to hear that. But I was actually trying to find the beginning of the word or. Again,
so we want to go be by or. Okay.
Stay at that location.
I'm gonna zoom out. Oh wait, that's wrong.
Longer, or it didn't make the movie. It was really important. Every shot was original, and that.
Let's go to back to the player and then zoom out a little bit more.
Really important. Every shot was original and that everything was real. Location longer, or it didn't make the movie. It was really
We're in here. Or is gonna be like
longer, or it didn't make the movie.
I think it's gonna be like here. How is he editing his?
Just want to take my blade and just come near the playhead and in order to be able to hear that. But I was actually trying to find the beginning of the word or. There. It's taken a little.
So we want beginning of or. Yep. Get it. There. Because if we play it now,
or it didn't make the movie. It was or it didn't make the movie.
we played.
Or it didn't make the movie. It was really important.
I don't know if we want to drag it back one more line. Like command Z and then do the cut here instead. And then
every shot was original and that everything was.
Wait a minute. What am I doing here?
Stay at that location longer, or it didn't make the movie. It was really important.
What am I doing here?
Stay at that location longer.
That's it. Got it. Let's do a try cut here.
Or it didn't make the movie. It
Perfect.
was really important.
Perfect. We nailed it. We nailed it. We nailed it, chat. So
that location, stay at that location longer, or it didn't make the movie. It was really important.
Stay.
That location, stay at that location longer, or it didn't make the movie.
Okay, let's see how we're doing.
About there. It's taken a little bit of sort of jogging back.
Chris knows. I think I'm gonna do a maple with purple heartwood. Which oh, that's nice. Mainly maple and then 4 wide piece of purple heart to offset the center. That's nice. And 1/2 inch of maple and another piece of purple heart. That's nice. Look into resin. Resin is fun too, but maybe not for a charcuterie board.
Forward 1 frame at a time, just in order to be able to hear that. But I was actually trying to find the beginning of the word or. Again, I just want to take my blade.
We're getting ahead of things. This is starting to look like a real little project now. Making work. Making work.
And just come near the playhead and click once more in order to be able to add a second edit point. This has now isolated the portion of the clip that I actually want to remove from the timeline. However, I don't want to use the blade mode again, so I'm going to switch back to the selection mode just by pressing A on the keyboard. I can now select that clip and then press Shift Backspace or Shift Delete in order to be able to remove the clip from the timeline. That's got rid of the portion of the clip that I isolated, but I now need to hear how that edit is working. So if I press the / key,
right, we would either go back to that location, or it didn't make the movie. It was really important.
Oh, he cut out the stay part, huh?
Stay at that location, stay at that go back to that location, stay at that location longer, or it didn't make the back to that location.
What did you do here?
Isolated, but I now need to hear how that edit is working. So if I press the / key,
right, we would either go back to that location, or it didn't make the movie.
Location, or it wouldn't make the movie. So we're gonna make another cut here. So we're gonna delete this first. What we're gonna do is zoom in here. We're gonna take this and we're gonna just delete this straight up. And now let's just listen to this again.
Or
Go there.
Or the weather wasn't right, we would either go back to that location, or it didn't make the movie. It was back to that location, or it didn't.
So we need that S sound away.
To that location.
We need to cut like 1 frame here. So we're gonna go zoom in hard, get a marker. We like this. Will this work? Then let's just see how this works.
Or it didn't make the movie. It was really
shit. That actually kind of works nice.
If we couldn't get the shot or the weather wasn't right, we would either go back to that location, or it didn't make the movie. It was really important. Every shot was original.
Yeah, that works.
And that everything was real.
That works. That's close to what he has. Actually, probably better than
It
his.
was really important.
it's probably not the tidiest of edits, but don't worry. Only the very skilled and experienced editors will be able to get that right first off. More often than not,
Like
when
me.
you're editing something, you just need to make your best guess and then refine it later. So we'll leave this for the moment, but we'll come back to it in a few minutes. In the meantime, I'm actually just going to go back into my full extent zoom so that I can see the whole timeline. And now what I want to do is remove this portion of the first interview clip. You remember that we overwrote the tail end of that clip. However, the beginning part of the clip is still in the timeline, so I want to remove that. Now, if I use my selection edit mode here, I can select the beginning part of that interview. And if I trim that, you can see that it will actually trim and remove a portion of the clip.
What do you do?
But I can select the beginning part. The beginning part of the clip is still in the timeline, so I want to remove that.
Selector.
Now, if I use my selection edit mode here, I can select the beginning part of that interview. And if I trim that, you can see that it will actually trim and remove a portion of the clip, but it will also leave a gap. This is not a huge problem, but there's more efficient ways that we've got being able to trim that and not leave a gap. So I'm just going to undo that in order to put the clip back to how I originally had it. And again, I'm going to change my timeline editing mode. I'm going to change it from the selection mode to my trim edit mode. And trim edit mode is a really powerful way of being able to manipulate the clips in the timeline in DaVinci Resolve. You don't need to keep going in and selecting specific tools. This one mode will actually do all of the trimming functions that I need on a day-to-day basis.
By the way, everyone,
T
like
allows me to select the trim edit mode. And now when I go back into the timeline, I can click the same edit point and start to trim just by dragging the mouse to the right. As I do so, you can see that the rest of the timeline is actually changing. I'm actually rippling the rest of the timeline back, thereby shortening it by the amount that I'm actually trimming off the beginning of that clip. You can also see I can go the other way as well. I can actually add footage back to that clip if I need to. If I keep going, and you can hear from the audio scrubbing where the actual interview starts. So I can now let go of the mouse, and you can actually see the tooltip there actually says that I'm removing at 3 seconds and 4 frames from the beginning of this clip. Now if I return the playhead to the beginning of the timeline, I can play from the beginning.
In this film, making a documentary about how the airplanes changed the world.
And I've actually got a much sharper start to the interview. And I can also use the trim edit mode in order to be able to fix the problem with the edit in the interview that I was just doing earlier. Move the playhead to the edit point and then use the detail zoom button to zoom in.
Okay, wait.
Sometimes I only want what I was just doing earlier. Move the playhead to the edit point and then use the detail zoom button to zoom in. Sometimes I only want to be able to trim a frame or two in either direction. So being able to zoom in means that I'm much closer to the footage and therefore have a little bit more control over it. In this case, I'm actually just going to select the outgoing part of this clip here where the waveform is that shows me that probably I'm just catching the outgoing word there. And now I can actually click and drag in order to be able to remove 1 or 2 frames at a time. If you haven't actually got the level of control that you're interested in, you may want to turn off your snapping here at the top of the timeline. Keyboard shortcut N is always worth remembering because you can always do this at any time, even if you're in the middle of an operation. So in this case, I'm going to click and I'm going to tap N on my keyboard, and now I can actually remove a single frame from that clip.
So I think I was pretty happy with this.
To that location, or it didn't make the movie.
Yeah.
Back to that location, or it didn't make the movie.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with mine. I actually did pretty well, so I don't really need to do anything.
Go back to that location, or it didn't make the movie. It was really.
But you can also do this using keyboard shortcuts as well. For example, if I use the period key, I can actually add a frame to that clip. And if I use the comma key, I can remove a frame from that clip. So now if I press the / key.
Right, we would either go back to that location or it didn't make the movie.
That's exactly how I am.
And again, it feels a little tight still. I think the outgoing portion of that is fine. But let's now select the incoming portion and let's just trim it back 1 frame. So I've now added a...
Let's see if I can get that. So, no, that's snapping, right? No, we don't want that. I had it perfect there.
Back to that location, or it didn't make the movie.
Yeah, we had it perfect. Like, I'm fucking great. Get magnet back on.
Frame using the comma key in order to make
Chris
that
is good.
timeline 1 frame
Sweaty Chris over here is a freaking god.
longer because I'm always rippling the footage.
Right, we would either go back to that location or it didn't make the movie. It was really important.
And that sounded pretty good to me, but you might just want to sort of explore this a little bit more. What would happen if we added another frame to the incoming shot using the comma key?
Right, we would either go back to that location or it didn't make the movie. It was really important.
And again, it's probably about the same. So I'm just going to take that frame off again and probably leave it at that point. So now I'm happy with how that edit is working. I'm actually just going to start adding a few more clips to the timeline just so we can pace out the edit and see where we're going with things. So in the timeline, I'm going to deselect the edit point and go back into my full extent zoom and just use the shift key and the scroll wheel on my mouse just to adjust the track height. So I've got a little bit more space for the audio. And I'm going to return the playhead to the beginning. You can either simply drag it or use the home key to go back to the top of the timeline. So at this point, I'm just going to add some music to this timeline. Well, we already created a music bin earlier, so we know exactly where to find that piece of music.
Let me just send a picture to my girlfriend and just show her that I'm good at editing.
In the bin list, select the music bin, and then I'm just going to turn off my audio scrubbing by pressing Shift S, and then I'm going to double click to open the music
Audio screwing. We already have that on, so we gotta go to a smart print, and we want to go. Oh, we gotta go to music, alright? Because we didn't smarten that. Nope.
Into the source viewer.
Let's see what banger we have here. Airplanes. Magical beings of steel. Flying all across the world. Is it a bird? Is it a superhero? No! It's an airplane! What is that? 2 large buildings! Okay, we're stopping this joke right now. And that's the story of airplanes. The age of airplanes. This is the song that plays when you defeat him. At the end of this story, Chris shows up at your home. You have to fight him for his job. Yeah, you just gotta cut off his tail so you get a special sword during the boss fight. The spear of Chris. It's a 4-inch dagger, but he calls it a spear. I made it funny. Okay, anyway, let's bring up the sex icon, also known as Chris.
Now, when you open audio in the source viewer, you actually get an upper waveform, which actually represents the whole of the audio clip, and a lower waveform, which actually represents a zoomed in portion of the clip. So it's like having the 2 waveform displays side by side, which is very useful to work with. In this case, we actually want to take the whole of the clip, so we don't need to set any in or out points to this clip. And in this case, I'm just going to pick the clip up, drag it across to my timeline viewer, and choose the place on top function. This then simply creates a new audio track at the bottom of the timeline and places the clip in it. It may seem counterintuitive that I've actually used something called place on top to actually place the audio at the lower part of the timeline, but it just is the way that that edit works with audio,
I like how
which
Chris
typically
explains
lives below the video in a timeline. The audio is actually quite loud, this piece of music is, so I'm actually going to move my mouse over the clip and actually find the point where I can actually locate the volume curve on the timeline. If I now click at that point,
Let me just fix this and we get it more. Why is this so compact? I want my shit to look like this. Oh, it's over here, that's why. Bullshit. There we go. Much better. Much better. Let's do this in this kind of view. There we go.
I can grab hold of the volume curve and lower it to an appropriate audio level. I'm actually just going to take it all the way down to around about minus 12 dB in the timeline.
Okay, minus 12 dB and that's close now.
In this film, making a documentary about how the airplanes changed the world, it was really important to go out and shoot the real world.
Airplanes!
If possible to shoot it, we wanted to go shoot it. If we couldn't get the shot or the weather wasn't right, we would either go back to that location or it didn't make the movie. It was really important. Every
I
shot
made a
was
movie,
original
guys.
and everything was real.
Oh shit, what is this? This video
About
edit
how the
is
airplanes changed
making
the world.
funny.
It was really important to go out and shoot the real world.
Dogehound documentary coming next year.
If it was possible to shoot it, we wanted to go shoot it.
Fucking A.
If we couldn't get the shot or the
Okay, this is looking okay. Okay, let's see.
And here. Doesn't necessarily mean to say that that's the right level. However, it's a useful starting point, and I always need to refine the levels later anyways. Now that I've got the audio at a reasonable level, I should be able to hear the interview over the top of the music.
In this film, making a documentary about how the airplanes changed the world, it was really important to go
Honestly, we should lower that a dB more. Chris doesn't know anything about this. Like, let's get it down to 1304. That's gonna be better. It's fucking loud.
out and shoot the real world.
You better say, like, we gotta lower that to 204 dBs. Like, 2 or 3 dBs.
That's fine at the moment. It gives me something to
What
work
the
with.
fuck,
It might
Chris?
be that the music gets changed at some point in the future, or I might need to refine it a little bit more. So I don't want to spend too long adjusting the levels and making them
You don't like
perfect.
music,
Not at
Chris.
this stage. Now that I've got the music into place, that actually gives me a time for the edit. So I've now got something to aim for in terms of an overall duration. Let's move the playhead to the edit point between the two interview clips halfway through this piece of music. We're going to start by editing a new clip in here, and it's actually just going to help us to fix that very nasty jump cut. Let's go to the B-roll bin.
B-roll.
And let's find the clip called South Pole. Double click that. It's AOA 8, shot at 8. And I'm going to set an in point just as the tail of the plane is coming out from behind that yellow sign. So an in point there. And I'm wanting to take 5 seconds. I don't know if 5
Buddy. Calm down there.
tail of the plane is coming out from behind that yellow sign. So an in point there. 8. And I'm going to set an in point just as the tail of the plane is coming out from behind that yellow sign.
Okay, so we're gonna in point at right where the tail. I have an in point here. Okay.
Fine. So an in point there. And I'm wanting to take 5 seconds. I don't know if 5 seconds is the right duration, but it's just a good all-round number that we can tend to work with for putting shots in. So I'm going to use +5.
We'll do a +5. I guess. Enter. Okay, that's good. Little clipperoni.
500 in order to jump the playhead forward by 5 seconds. Hit return, set an out point. And now I can just make a simple overwrite edit with F10. If I back the playhead up in the time,
So F10 on that bad boy. Wait, so we want to overwrite it completely? I guess.
line, and then hit the / key.
We still have the okay, perfect. So he's looking like
either
this.
go back to that location or it didn't make the movie. It's really important.
So good idea of looking at this, by the way, to explain this, how this works. This is our like preview thing of like the clip we're editing right here. This is the like the library of clips we have working with. This is our timeline, which is essentially our video. And this is what we see on the timeline. So you can see here. So let's look how this is looking now.
The weather wasn't right. You would either go back to that location or it didn't make the movie. It's really important. Every shot was original and that everything was real.
I fucked up. I fucked up on that. So we needed to do an out point here. Out point, and now F10. And now we have. Yeah, now it's good. Because now it's gonna be like this.
Or it didn't make the movie. It's really important. Every shot was original and that everything was real.
Perfect. It's interesting, they have the music perfectly synced, so we don't have to do any music work with lining this up, because this is synced up to the clips already. That's why we have this whole pause over here. Bit cheating, but I'm sure that they're not trying to overwhelm me with info right now.
And I think that edit works nicely.
Nice!
The audio of the interview is working very well.
Nice!
And the new picture that's overwritten the end of that interview actually covers the jump cut. So now let's add a few extra clips to the end of this timeline, and then we can actually trim those clips to the correct duration. From the B-roll bin, select the Kenya clip, AOA 07.
Africa!
Hold down the Command or Control key and select AOA 11.
Whoa.
From the B-roll bin, select the Kenya clip, AOA 07. Hold down the Command or Control key and select AOA 11.
AOA 11.
That's the St. Martin landing. And then again, hold down Command or Control in order to select AOA 14, Aerial Alaska.
Wait.
With those...
I'm just gonna... You wanted what? St. Martin? And Alaska. Which ones are you wanting me to grab here?
Martin landing. And then again, hold down Command or Control in order to select AOA 14.
Alaska. Pretty baked. Okay, we got those three.
Aerial Alaska. With those three clips selected, I can actually drag those clips directly to the timeline viewer and choose the Append at End edit.
Append at End edit. Oh shit. Well, isn't this nifty? Isn't this nifty? Okay, append at end. Fuck me, this is nifty.
What the Append at End is really useful for is throwing clips at the end of your edit so you can use them to quickly assemble footage into the timeline. And it doesn't depend on where your playhead is, it just depends on where the last clip is in your timeline. Obviously those clips are way too long for this edit, so I just need to reduce their duration. To select the clips, I'm going to switch into my selection edit mode, select the clips, now go back to my trim edit mode, right click any of those clips, choose change clip duration, Command or Control D is the shortcut.
Change clip.
And from the change clip duration box, I'm going to choose the 5-second preset. As I said, 5 seconds is not necessarily the correct duration, it's just a duration that's worth starting at.
Okay. I'm getting really inspired by this.
My clips have been trimmed on the timeline. However, I've still got a little bit of work to do here. Let's move back to the beginning of the South Pole clip, and then let's use the detail zoom button just to zoom in a little bit here. I want to make the South Pole clip a little bit shorter because nothing really happens in it. So a 5-second shot is a good starting point, but let's just make it a little bit shorter from the beginning. So if I select the incoming part of that clip, just to select that clip there, you'll notice I haven't selected any audio, and I'm using the trim edit mode here in order to be able to select the beginning part of that clip, and I'm just going to remove a few frames just to bring it down to about 4 seconds duration. You can see that as I'm trimming it, the tooltip is telling me how much I'm actually trimming it by, and the grey numbers underneath represent an overall duration. However, look at what's happening to the underlying audio clip of the interview. Remember, I had the interview working in terms of the audio. By changing it like this,
so we need
I'm actually
shift.
Losing parts of the outgoing audio clip. I don't want to do that. So in this case, I need to undo that change. Now, the reason that this is happening is because Resolve fights to keep everything in sync after the point at which you are trimming. So if a clip starts at the trim point or afterwards, then it will move in an appropriate direction. In this case, we actually need to break that functionality that up until now has actually served us quite well. So in this case, I'm actually going to come to the track header and I'm going to choose to lock the track.
Okay.
That will prevent any additional changes being made to any of the clips on this track.
Are we gonna lock this track too?
I'll now trim that clip to the 4-second duration that I was aiming for. And you can see that the audio underneath is now no longer moving.
This is awesome.
Let's go back to full extent zoom and then play
Zoom.
to review the change.
Go back to that location where it didn't make the movie. It's really important. Every shot. Or it didn't make the movie. It's really important.
So,
It wasn't right. We would either go back to that location or it didn't make the movie. It's really important. Every shot was original and then everything was real.
I kind of like when he said, so just a thing, I would edit this so when he says, and everything was real, and then we get the airplane footage here.
Every shot was original and then everything was real.
Real, and then the airplane shot. I feel like that's a sick way of editing that. I hope Chris tells me that. And nice shots. God damn it, I'm talented. Fly Crockett Air.
It was original and then everything was real.
You heard him scoff there? He's like...
That's a nice shot of the Kenya plane. However, you'll notice the beginning part of that clip was just a little bit untidy. So again, I'm just going to ripple a few frames out of the beginning of that clip. If we move the playhead to the beginning of the clip, go into the detail zoom, use the trim edit mode in order to be able to ripple a few frames out to get rid of the yellow part of the plane at the top of the frame there. Again, bringing the duration down to that around about 4 seconds.
We're gonna ripple that bad boy. So... ripple this. Onto the 4-second mark, so we get away the yellow plane.
Original and then everything was real.
Dude, I feel like with him going up real, that is telling me there's a change coming in. That is when I want the clip to change. If he doesn't change that before we export this project, we're gonna change that in the end. I promise you that. Chris might know a little bit, but I know a lot more. Because I've taken one course that I have 10 minutes left of.
It's not important to get it accurate at this point. It just means that just refining the beginning of the shot. Let's continue playing.
Original and then everything was real.
Yeah, flying airplanes are fun. We fly planes.
Now, there's a few things that we need to do here. First of all, we still need to be able to bring the duration of those clips down, but they're actually in the wrong order. I want the Alaska shot to follow the South Pole shot on the timeline. Then I would actually like to finish with the St. Martin shot. Now, if I use my selection edit mode to be able to move a clip around the timeline, all I'll simply do is overwrite what is currently there.
We don't like that.
So I need to use a different function for this. And this is what we would call a shuffle insert edit. And it's a little bit of a secret function
Woo,
that you now
secret!
know about.
We're about to find a secret
To
door!
perform a shuffle edit,
Guys, we're about to hit the wall and find a secret door.
hold down the Shift and Command or Control keys, and then use the comma and period key in order to be able to move the clip backwards and forwards through the timeline.
Wait, what do you say?
Command or Control keys, and then use the comma and period key in order to be able to move the clip backwards and forwards through the timeline.
That is really sick, actually. Command, and then... Dope. Oh, that's sick. That's sick. Secret unlock.
So I can now put the aerial Alaska shot after the South Pole shot. If I hold down the Command key and use the left and right arrow keys, this will allow me to select another clip. Hold down Shift and Command and use the comma and period keys allows me to
Dope.
reorder those clips as well. And you can actually select multiple clips on the timeline and use the same keyboard shortcuts in order to be able to shuffle those groups of clips around the timeline. So this makes it really easy to move one scene from one part of the timeline to another. So now I've got the shots in the right order, I'm just going to trim the aerial Alaska shot before adding the credits to the end. Let's go into Detail Zoom, make sure I'm in my Trim Edit mode by pressing T, and I'm just going to trim the end of that shot again to the magic 4-second duration.
We're going, dude, he really likes 4 seconds and 5 seconds, okay. Magical 4-second mark. Bro, like, are you okay? Like, let's take this away and then magical 4-second mark. Just preview that.
Every shot was original and that everything was real.
Cut the credits. That's where we're gonna put the credits, I'm sure.
I'm going to go back into my full extent zoom, and I'm just going to play the timeline just so that I hear the last beat of the music. I'll use my audio scrubbing.
Wait, he
Just to be able to
got Kenya and St. Martin switched up. Let me just fix that. It was Control Shift and then we want to do the there. So they're swapped up now.
find the beat of that music. So using the audio beats for the music is a good way of being able to guide the edit.
Okay.
Now we need the credits.
So we gotta find a final beat. So that's a drum. So the question is, cut the credits at this drum or the other one? What did he do?
Just to be able to find the beat of that music. So using the audio beat scrubbing. Just to be able to find.
So he starts this at the second drum. That's why I was wondering. Because there's two ideas. There. That's the clip. On the hit of the first drum
Beat of that
is
music.
where we want to do that.
So using the audio beats
boom,
for the music is a good
cut.
way of being able to guide the edit.
So boom,
now we need
and
the
then
credits.
boom.
So let's go to our credits smart bin.
Okay, credits
Let's
smart
double
bin.
click to select the credits in the source viewer. And in this case, we actually want to take all of the credits. So we're not going to set any in or out points.
Ford, huh?
Instead, we're just going to perform an overwrite edit with F10.
So we're going to do an override edit. So overwrite edit. Oh, we can just do F10. Let's do F10.
If I use the up arrow key in the timeline, use the / key.
Yeah, so it's gonna hit. We want it on the second drum hit. We want to line that up. So at the second drum, we want it to come in. That's perfect. Oh my god, we nailed that. Anybody needs ADR work? I got you. Holy shit, we got 8 minutes left.
Now that I've got those shots in at the end of the timeline, I just need to go back through and refine which parts of the shots that I'm using. So I need to use the trim edit function for that as well. Let's position the playhead over the St. Martin shot at the end of this timeline and use the detail zoom button to zoom in. If we preview the shot by selecting it and pressing the / key, you can see that we're actually using the beginning part of the shot where actually the plane is quite far away. So instead of that, if we use the trim edit mode and actually click on the upper part of the clip on the timeline, this will enable us to slip the actual content of the shot. You can see how the clip is slipping on the timeline and how the thumbnails are being updated.
Wait a minute, how
and pressing the / key.
So what is the hotkey he wants me to use now?
You can see that we're actually using the beginning part of the shot where actually the plane is quite far away. So instead of that, if we use the trim edit mode
Trim edit mode?
and actually click on the upper part of the clip on
Upper part?
the timeline, this will enable us to slip the actual content of the shot. You can see how the clip is slipping on the timeline and how the thumbnails are being updated. If I keep on dragging, if you look at the timeline viewer, you can see in the upper right corner, you can see the outgoing frame as the plane disappears overhead and out of shot. And that is where I want that shot to end. This is called a slip edit. The slip edit is one of the most powerful trimming functions that we have in the timeline. I'm going to return to my full extent zoom and just position my...
See how that works. That's sick. I'll fuck with that hard.
Playhead over this Alaska
By the way,
shot.
this is stressful. I'm out of my comfort zone doing learning editing and not playing video games, and it's kind of exciting. I'm learning a lot how I'm gonna change on my next stream with doing these video editing tutorials, but we're gonna keep on doing this. This is gonna be fun. I'm still gonna do video game streams, but this is gonna be a big part of the stream now.
Again, I'll select that and just press the / key just to preview it.
Every shot was original and that everything was real.
It's a nice shot, but it's lacking a certain amount of dynamism. So another thing that we can often do with shots is we can adjust the speed of them. With that clip selected, I'll just come up here to the top right-hand corner and open up the inspector.
Top right hand corner, inspector. Ooh. Oh shit, this is the transform shit. This is like for the really cool.
Scrolling through the inspector, I actually have a category called speed change. If I just simply click on that to open it up, I can now specify the speed of this clip. Speeding the clip up should give us something more to actually see, as it looks as though probably the plane is actually going to be flying a little bit faster. Selecting the speed percentage, type in 200 and hit the return key. That then adjusts the speed of the clip, so it's now playing at 200% or twice as fast. If I hit the / key,
Every shot was original and that everything was real.
there's now a little bit more movement in that shot. So in
So that's twice as fast now.
this case,
It's original and that everything was real.
I can now slip the clip in order to use a later part of the shot as the camera pans around the plane, so that we now get this shot in the top right quadrant of that timeline view. As you can see, the end frame is now the plane with the mountains in the background.
Every shot was...
Okay, so let's try that. So let's do slip. Oh shit. I need to look what he did. Okay, so
In order to use a later part, there's now a little bit more movement in that shot.
ah shit.
So in this case, I can now slip the clip in order to use a later part of the shot as the camera pans around the plane. So
Okay. Oh, oops, wrong one. This is the one we want to use. We want to have it at the end like this. Check how this
Every
works.
shot was original and that everything was real.
It's tight. Fucking tight. Fuck me, Chris. You're teaching
that we
me
now
shit.
get this shot in the top right quadrant of that timeline view. As you can see, the end frame is now the plane with the mountains in the background.
Every shot was original and that everything was real.
Another way of using a different part of the same shot is actually to use a match frame and replace function. In this case, if I move the playhead to the first frame of the Kenya clip, if I actually want to reveal the original source clip for that clip, I can just press F on the keyboard in order to be able to do a match frame. This actually brings the original source clip up into the source viewer. This means I can now see all of the rest of the clip without...
Go out of inspector. I had to press F. What did he say there?
If I actually want to reveal the original source clip for that clip, I can just press F on the keyboard in order to be able to do a match frame. This actually brings the original source clip up.
Okay.
Up into the source viewer. This means I can now see all of the rest of the clip without actually having to manipulate it directly on the timeline. If I now choose a new starting frame for this clip, just as the plane is coming over this shot of the flamingos here, I've now got the playhead in the correct position. And now I can use the replay over this shot of the flamingos here. If I now choose a new starting frame for this clip, just as the plane is coming over this shot of the flamingos here,
It's like, yeah, frame of frame, yeah.
I've now got the playhead in the correct position. And now I can use the replace edit function in order to be able to match the two playheads together. You can use the replace edit by simply dragging the clip over the timeline viewer to the replace edit overlay, or alternatively, you've actually got a replace clip button at the top of your timeline, or you can use your keyboard shortcut of F11. And in this case, the replace edit has actually replaced the clip by matching the two playheads together. So the playhead here in the source viewer is actually placed at the location of the playhead in the timeline. And then the clip is actually replaced based on the source media clip after the playhead. It's a very, very powerful function if you actually want to be able to synchronize clips together. It's useful for being able to edit sound effects into the timeline or to be able to match two images together with different actions. For example, here, if we go to the last clip here in the timeline where we actually have the St. Martin landing plane flying overhead. Sometimes, instead of match framing to the same clip, you actually maybe want to reveal the clip in its original source bin. This is because usually additional takes of the similar sorts of footage would be available, usually in that bin. So in this case, instead of match framing to the source clip, right-click the clip in the timeline, and there you can use the Find in Media Pool option. That will then reveal the clip directly in the media pool in the bin. And usually other clips around that will be alternative takes.
Like this one.
For example, this clip, AOA 12, actually has the similar plane landing, but also has lots of people in the foreground. This is a much more dramatic shot than the original one that we were using. If I double click that clip to open it into the source viewer, and then actually use my JK and L keys in order to be able to find a frame which is sort of visually matching the frame that I'm viewing in the timeline viewer. With the two playheads in the correct positions, I can now simply do a replace edit.
There we go. That should be exactly.
And match.
Okay, so we're gonna place that. Oopsies, wrong one. I want to replace this one. Oopsies, wrong one. We need to have it here and then do. Okay, makes sense. We need to have the plaything on what we're replacing. So I'll just add there. Kind of cool. It's like going like this. Like, how is this looking now? Because this is looking pretty sick.
The shot was original and that everything was real.
Kind of cool. Kind of like that. It's cool that it's teaching me alternative ways to edit this.
The action across the two shots. So these are just some of the trimming and some of the editing functions that we have within Resolve in terms of being able to put and edit together. Just before we actually move to the next stage of the editing process, I'm just going to make a slight change to some of the audio for the interview. And in order to do this, of course, I just need to unlock the entire track. And in this case, I just want to find a beginning of his interview here, just at the very end of the interview.
Or it didn't make the movie.
Didn't make the movie. And I actually want to separate this part of the clip here and just move it a little bit further up and out of the way. So I could use my blade edit. I actually want to find a beginning of his interview here, just at the very end of the interview.
Or it didn't make the movie.
Didn't make the movie. And I actually want to separate this part of the clip here and just move it a little bit further up and out of the way. So I could use my blade edit mode here to cut that clip.
Use me blade.
Or I could use a short keyboard shortcut for this. If I select the clip and press Command or Control B, that will actually split the clip, and now I can move that clip and position it where I need it to be, about there. I select the clip and press Command or Control B, that will actually
so 9:14, like about the same. Yeah, that is 9. What does he have up here? 25:05, 25:06, 25:05. Can I mute the freaking track down here? Yeah, mute track.
Important.
Perfect.
Movie. It was really important. Every shot was important.
So does he cut off the important part? Like what is he trying to edit here?
split the clip, and now I can move that clip and position it where I need it to be. About there will do.
It was really important. Every shot was.
It was really important. Okay, so that's what we want to edit here.
It was really important.
Detail view.
It was really. It
was really important. Do a blade here. And this, and then zoom out.
It was really important. Every shot was a. It was really important. It was really important. Every shot was. Or it didn't make the movie. It was really.
Oh, no. That was a bad cut there.
It was really. The movie.
Here. This is it.
It was really important.
There we go. Now, now split these real quick, just to hear how the tail end of that is.
It was really important. The movie. It was really important. The shot, whether it wasn't right, we added to that location.
Then one. Don't like to snap. Don't snap on me, baby. Still snapping. I guess. Okay, let's do this and see just how this works.
It was really important.
That probably is going to be better for that.
Movie. It was really important.
A lot better. A lot better. Okay, we're gonna have that here. Let's check what he's doing here.
It's original and it's real.
Directly in the media pool. I actually want to want to separate this part of the clip here and just move it
we're almost
a little
there.
bit further up and out of the way. So I
should
could
make
use
a
my
new soundtrack
blade
for the
edit
new
mode
Dark
here
Souls.
to cut that clip, or I could use
Wanna be
a short
studying
keyboard shortcut for
music
this.
editing.
If I select the clip and press Command or Control B, that will actually split the clip, and now I can move that clip and position it where I need it to be. About there will do.
It was really important. Every shot was original and it was real.
Okay. So we'll move it like.
Original, and then everything is real.
So this
You
looks.
didn't make the movie. It was really important. Every shot was original and then it was real.
That works. That works. Fuck me, this is harder than I thought. And also easier than I thought.
So hopefully this video has been useful in showing you some of the editing functionality that we have within DaVinci Resolve. Don't forget, if you've got any further questions, then please feel free to join us on the forum pages where questions are answered on a daily basis. We've also got a full range of training materials available for free as well, so check out the DaVinci Resolve training pages where you can download further videos and books to help you get to grips with Resolve. Thank you very much.
Okay, let's look at our video. Let's preview it. How do I preview it? Let's see here. Preview. Where do we watch the preview? Preview. I want to see what we created here. Let's see here. It was funny when I was setting this up. I accidentally found the preview. I was like, no, I don't need this until. Let's quick export it. Let's export it. Let's see how it looks after it's exported. Okay, videos. What is this? Looks like I've accidentally recorded myself. What is this? When did I record this? This was a while ago. Guess I accidentally took a screenshot or something. Oh, look at my hair. Let's see here. Where do we export it to? It's over here. Okay, I can find it. I can find it. Where is it? Okay,
In
this is
film,
what we
making
made.
a documentary about how the airplanes changed the world.
So this is how the video
It's really
ended up.
important to go out and shoot the real world.
So we made this, Chad. You made
It's
this.
possible to shoot it. We wanted to go shoot it.
I made this. We made
If we
this.
couldn't get the shot or the weather wasn't right, we would either go back to that location or it didn't make the movie. It's really important. Every shot was original and it was real.
Feel a little bit proud. Sick. Narrated by Harrison Ford, apparently. This looks like a sick documentary. Well, chat, that's our first class. That was awesome. Let's save this. Exit this. But yeah, chat. There's gonna be a lot more tutorial things that I'm gonna do. I figured, considering how much I stream, I might as well learn things while I stream. So right now, this is the year of me learning how to video edit. So we're gonna do a lot of these classes. Seriously, if anybody thought this was interesting, the resource for doing this class is in the YouTube in my YouTube description. You can just click the link. You can download the files in the software. You can do it. Next time is probably gonna be next Wednesday that I'm gonna do this, and yeah, next Wednesday class we're gonna have class again. So I'm excited. This is a new chapter, and it's cool. This probably is not the most interesting to watch, but god damn it, is this fun. So yeah, on that note, you know what time it is. It is time for the outro song. Everyone, be nice to each other, take care of each other, work real hard, play even harder. Yeah. Good times, chat. I'm excited. This is gonna be fucking awesome. Anyway, I'm gonna make some pizza, and then I'm gonna go to bed. Take it easy.